Howdy folks, for those of you who don't remember, my name is Effing Controller, and I run a YouTube gaming channel of the same name, and on that channel I upload videos and make bad jokes. And I haven't been doing that very much lately, and I think that if you're watching this, you may be curious about where I've been for the past, 7 months, I think it's been. So I'll just do kind of a quick rundown, hopefully a quick rundown of where I've been for the past year and what I've been up to. So towards the end of 2016, I ended up finishing the coding boot camp I went to, and after I finished, I fucked it up. I kind of just proceeded in my life in a sort of half-hearted fashion from there. I was sort of looking for work. I was kind of focused on the channel. I was working part-time at my old job, and I just kind of wasted a lot of time doing nothing, really. Just kind of not really focusing on one particular area. I shit-posted on Twitter quite a bit, so that was time well spent. But I was just kind of living in this weird, non-committal, half-assed sort of way for a few months, and consequently, I pretty much fucked up. I kind of fucked up my transition into a new field, and I then got offered the opportunity to work full-time again at my old employer for what was supposed to be a short-term basis, but it ended up being quite a bit longer than that. And I went ahead with it because, frankly, I needed the money, and the situation I was in was just making me feel kind of bad about myself. And working full-time again really did help me, I have to say. It did feel a little bit like a professional defeat in some respects, because it was like I was running back to mama after I got a bloody nose out in the real world, but it was a different gig with a different group of people. And I guess different is a good way of describing those folks. They're a bunch of weirdos and rejects that were working in this odd little corner that nobody was really sure of what we were doing, but where we were respected and indispensable. And it was kind of a nice environment. And after I started working there, I feel like just on a very fundamental personal level, I completely changed. And I can't really figure out how that happened. I certainly had some other experiences outside of work that made me feel a lot better and helped with me figuring my shit out, but I have to say that I would say that the day-to-day of going to that job really helped me. I felt valued and that I was genuinely part of a really good team, and I felt really capable. I felt like I was able to, do things for once, and after having spent months kind of not quite executing, I guess, it was a good feeling. And another thing about that office that, this is going to sound really fucking dumb, but there was this, I think it's fair to say that it was the mantra of that office, where people would say this constantly throughout the day, it seemed like, and it was the phrase, "Don't worry about it." And I know, again, that sounds like a really cheesy, kind of self-helpy sort of thing, but I swear, I heard it like a dozen times a day, and something about hearing that every day and seeing people really not worrying about it, even when they possibly should have been, it was weirdly kind of inspiring to me, because I mean, they were working and doing everything in this way that was really dispassionate and free of worry, and they were still effective. They weren't getting all wrapped up in things, and it's just something where when I think of myself prior to that point, I was somebody who was a lot more wound up and insecure about my abilities, and just kind of just an anxious person, anxious about what people thought of me and my ability and things like that. And I just remember spending a lot of time in those months after I finished my coding boot camp feeling kind of frozen with worry, and instead I should have not been worrying about it and actually taking action to deal with some of the problems that were bothering me. And so I think just in the course of working there, I stopped worrying. Well, I guess that's not really accurate. I mean, I do worry about things from time to time, but I don't feel as encumbered by worry, I guess, as I used to. I feel a lot more in control and a lot more confident. And that's also been coupled with just some personality changes, and my lifestyle changes, rather, that I've been kind of undertaking. I've been jogging, I've been eating a little better, I've been trying to get out of the house more, been working on a web app with my best friend Pete, and we're making really good progress on that. I've just been kind of structuring my life a lot better, and the thing about that, though, is that it's apparently come at the cost of making videos on here, which I can't really point to a moment in time where I said to myself, fuck YouTube, I'm not making videos anymore. It just kind of stopped. It just happened. And for a while, in fact, I think I kind of stopped playing games generally. And I don't know if that was just kind of a subconscious thing of where I was thinking that maybe they were the reason I wasn't doing so well with my professional life and things like that. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how all this kind of happened, to be totally honest with you. So I guess that kind of begs the question of whether I really want to do this whole YouTube thing. And that question feels a lot more complicated than it should be, because fundamentally, yes, I like playing games. I like sharing those experiences with people, and I still like cracking jokes and making terrible fart jokes and things like that with you guys. But technically it becomes a little bit more difficult, because when you come right down to it, the act of creating a Let's Play video is extremely tedious for me. And that's not true of everybody out there for sure, but for me, I just find it frustrating at times. It can take me several tries, for instance, to actually start a video properly. And in fact, doing this recording here has taken me a couple of tries to do it correctly. And, I just get hung up on words, or I think, oh, this sounds dumb or whatever. But I don't know. This has been going pretty well so far, but we'll see. But I don't know. I think that my attitude change maybe will help with that. I don't know for sure. But there's also some other issues, though. Like, I'm not really encouraged by the kind of attitude of people online right now. And that's not to say anything about my fans, who are awesome. And in fact, that kind of argument is it's a shitty excuse, because most of the people that interact with me in my videos are fans, and they aren't assholes. But that being said, it is still really discouraging. In the months that I've been away, most of the comments that I get, just when the channel's asleep, like it's been, I get these kind of random turds drifting into the channel with these comments that are just pointless and dumb. And it doesn't hurt my feelings or anything like that, but it's also something like, well, I don't want to spend any part of my day really dealing with this. So it has led me to kind of think that this is maybe not something I want to do. And I spent a little while trying to justify it, try to fool myself into almost making videos. I thought about these different gimmicks and these different things to make the channel more appealing for me to work on, and possibly for you to watch. But one of the other things I guess I've learned over the past several months is that I mean, that's kind of self-coercion, and that's really kind of undermining. It doesn't really it doesn't really foster an attitude where I'm doing this because I like it, and it just seems like it's not going to be viable if you do something like that. You should just do something because it makes you happy. That's what it comes down to. That should be all the reason that you need. You shouldn't have to come up with some kind of contrivance to force yourself or to fool yourself into doing something. And I guess that really gets to the heart of the matter. If I feel like that's how I have to do it, then I don't want to do it. But then recently I kind of was thinking about this again, and I was like, well, invert that approach. If you feel like you have to add a bunch of stuff to do this, try removing stuff. Maybe that's the right way to think about it. Just sit down and play a goddamn video game and turn on the camera and see what happens. I mean, that sounds kind of weird, but just sit down and play a game and don't worry about it. How's that sound? I mean, come on. So I think that approach is going to govern what I do from here on out. And I do intend to get back into this. And in fact, I already kind of have. But I want to also mention that should inform your consumption of this delightful content on here. If you find yourself thinking, hey, effing controller, when's the next video coming out? Don't worry about it. That's probably going to be my answer to you. When's your next stream? Don't worry about it. Will you ever play Silent Hunter 3 with this mod installed, or insert game here? Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. I mean, just, think of it as my channel turning into an Outback Steakhouse. It'll be the Outback Steakhouse of YouTube channels. There's no rules, just right. Bloomin' onions, as far as the eye can see. We're going to have some shrimps on the Barbie. And dick jokes. But, crikey, there are going to be a lot of dick jokes. But there also will be a video coming out that is actually a video with content in it, and it's actually Silent Hunter 3 content, funnily enough. But I'll actually explain. A couple weeks back, I did a stream where I did a thing. And it's a little complicated, but like I said, it involves Silent Hunter 3, which is that delicious submarine flavor that all the kids crave. And I will be uploading it shortly after this video goes up. And yeah, I think I'm back into this, but on a basis where I'm just not going to worry about it too much. I'm just going to do my thing. But on a serious note, for those of you who have been waiting for me to return, thanks for hanging in there. I feel really good about this. I feel like I'm going to be able to continue doing this in a way that is satisfying to me and hopefully satisfying for you. And I just hope that everybody's going to be happy with what I do, and I hope I'm happy with what I do. So look forward to more videos coming out in the very near future, and until next time.